Hi, I'm Mac McCarthy, and I help people with their breakups. And today we got 5 reasons to date single moms. Now, this was actually a request from Luis. He sent it in the comments, and I'd like to let you know, put it in the comments, write me in at writemac.com, do what you got to do, and let me know if there's a topic you want me to touch on. And he said, can you talk about single moms? And I thought, I'd like to take it from a different angle because there's so much crap out there of why you wouldn't date a single mom. Okay. Full disclosure, I haven't had a girlfriend or a serious relationship with a single mom, but I've dealt with a lot of clients that have, and I've had quite a few friends, and I'm not against it. Just got to know what you're getting into. So I want to take it from another angle. 5 reasons to date single moms. And a lot of times when you look at something, it's really good to look at both sides. So if you're dug in on, oh, I would never do that, and you start dating a woman and she's got a kid and you're highly attracted to her, maybe this is kind of video that you want to watch to maybe think about that you've been somehow brainwashed that it's just a bad choice or a bad thing that you can't go against. It's a code of your conduct, because it's okay. A lot of times you're going to fall for someone or a woman and you don't know they have kids. And then the thing builds up. And here's the thing. Women, men, human beings, there's good ones and bad ones, right? There's good ones and bad ones. And these labels like, oh my God, she's a single mom or she's a MILF. We have all these labels, right? You got to decide as an individual what works for you, why you're in a relationship, and so on and so on. So let me get into the quote of the day, what I wrote out here. And if you have a topic or a breakup story you'd like to share, go to writemac.com to send it in. 5 reasons to date single moms. I know a lot of guys mention reasons to not date single moms, but let's just think about the positives for a moment. Someone's like, there is. The 3 core foundations of a good relationship is attraction, a good connection, some may call that chemistry, and trust. Those are the pillars. Those are the 3 pillars in my book. Okay. If you meet a woman that you are highly attracted to, have a good connection with, and you find her trustworthy, then her having a kid isn't going to be a problem unless you just don't like kids. You just don't want kids, or you just feel uncomfortable with being a role model for another man's kid. If that's your situation, okay. Now, if you start dating this individual, she's special, she's kind, you have a good connection, you're attracted, you're connected, you trust her, and you go, maybe I'll try this kid thing. Okay. That woman would not qualify as, do not date single moms. There's good ones, there's bad ones, there's one you're going to be attracted to, connected to, and trust. Okay. So take away that label of it's all bad, right? There is no rule to this. It's a choice. You're dating a woman, she's got a kid. You can decide to continue to date her and see where it goes, or you can say, I just don't do that. Many men will meet a woman and start a relationship with them while they have a kid. But it was never their intention to date or live with a woman that has a kid or kids. It just happened. And as they gained feelings for that woman, they felt like they could deal with her having a kid. They could accept it, and hopefully they could embrace it. Now, here's the thing. A man dating a single woman isn't going to have a built-in level of unconditional love with a kid that isn't his blood or one he wasn't there for since it was a baby. So I've had clients before that they were there since a baby. It's a different connection. So it's going to take more time for him to develop into that father figure, a role model, or just accept whatever situation that is with the father of the kid. If you are dating a single mom, it's important you actually like the kid or kids or enjoy spending time with them. If the guy doesn't like them off the bat, if he immediately thinks the kid's crabby or whiny or complainy, it's probably not going to work. It's usually going to not work. And in some cases, the guy will be competing for the woman's attention when the kid is around. So if you got a guy that's dating a single mom, or you are dating a single mom, and you feel like you're always complaining about the kid's actions, first of all, it's a kid, right? But you also could find yourself competing for attention with that kid, and you become more kid-like. The downsides of dating a single mom, which isn't the topic of the show, but let's just throw them out there, seems obvious. You may have to father or be responsible for a kid that's not yours. And her ex or the kid's father will always be in the picture, and it just creates moments of friction. You'll also have to accept that you aren't going to be number one most of the time, because most single moms, in most cases, the kid comes first. So those are the obvious reasons that you maybe don't date a single mom. The obvious reasons that you would is you feel a strong attraction, you feel really connected, and you trust the individual. And then you make the choice. I'm up for this. Now, on to the top 5 reasons to date single moms. Number 1, they are looking for a monogamous relationship. You'd hope so, right? They want to settle down, have some stability, create a long-term relationship. They don't want to hang out at bars on the weekends. Now, someone's like, oh, I know single moms that do that. I'm with you. I'm just saying there's probably a large majority of them that are ready to settle down and have a serious relationship. There's a lot of men that want that. So you know what's built in. Number 2, they've got more life experience. They learned a lot from their past relationship, and they know what they want. So they tend to play less games. Okay. Number 3, if you are good to their kid or kids, they will love you deeper. It might sound a little twisted, but you know what I mean. This can't be faked, by the way. So if you have a good connection with their kid, it wasn't your intention to date a single mom, I think it's kind of a bonus, because I've met a lot of guys that have had these kind of relationships and they get really close with the kid. And that creates a deeper relationship with the mom. Number 4, you can see how they treat their kids and learn a lot about how they'll treat you. I think this is a big one. Of course, you're not their child, but you'll see how they convey love. At our core, humans were made to have families and kids. Knowing if a woman is a good mother or not by actually seeing how she interacts with her kid or kids and conveys love is something you'll never have access to with a woman that you know doesn't have kids. So watching her mother or parent her kids is giving you access, direct access of what kind of mother she's going to be. That's premium information getting into a serious relationship. Number 5, a good single mom is responsible, mature, and has her eyes on the future. This can be very attractive to a man. Very attractive. There's a lot of men out there dealing with relationships with impulsivity. That means I just care about what happens right now. Immaturity. And so a single mom can tend to be more responsible, mature, and have her eyes on the future. So those are some positive things. And the reason I want to go over that, I just think it's obvious the downsides. You don't want to be a father. You don't want to father someone else's kids. You don't want that responsibility. You don't want to deal with an ex boyfriend or husband that was the father of the kids. That's okay. But there are some reasons that you could deal with it. Correct me if I'm wrong. All right, let's get into a story I have on deck today. Coach, I broke up with my boyfriend 2 days ago, and now today we had a long talk, and he kept telling me that he is done, that he's tired of my nagging him, and that I always put my friends first. We've been together for a year. We stay at each other's place on the weekends mostly. All right, bottom line is, just to start off, if you've only been together 1 year, this is the infant part of the relationship. This is when someone can take a twist or a turn and you go, I didn't know you were like that. Yeah, because 1 year is not very long. Okay. So when you break up at 1 year, maybe it was inevitable. I know he loves me and he always is ready to play in the bedroom. There's no doubt if I want to get his attention, I can. That's why he told me that we need to get our space now, because the relationship for him is toxic. I don't believe it's toxic at all. I love him. Okay, so he's saying it's toxic. You're saying no, it's not. He feels that. You feel different. Who's right? Who's wrong? You just have opinions. So the idea that you're just going to discard that and say it's not true because you feel different, that would be ignorance. He just can't be there for me sometimes when I have my issues with depression, and he even makes it worse. Okay, so he's, just for starters, if you have depression, he's probably not trained in dealing with people with depression. Go to a therapist or a coach and get some help with that. That's not his responsibility to fix. If you're going to blame him for not being caring enough, then maybe he's not the guy for you, because he just says things that shows he doesn't truly care about me the way I do. So again, you're saying I'm this way, he's this way. I'm better. I care more. Then break up. I put 100% into this relationship. That's just who I am. I do the same at my job, and that's the thing. He doesn't always put that 100% into us. Okay, so just right off the bat, you're complaining about him. If you're not happy, you've built a case of why you don't like him in the relationship, right? Maybe this should be reasons for you to accept this breakup. It's like sometimes he just can care less, or he forgets to call me when he's going out to check in. That's what happened most recently when he went to a sports bar to watch a basketball game, which I'm a fan of, the same team as him, and he doesn't even invite me to go because he just wants buddy time. So that's something you need to negotiate as a couple. But I'm a strong advocate that you should get girl time and you should get buddy time as a guy, and you should get your space. And if he says, I want to watch the game with my buddies, and you want to go along, that can be annoying. It's good for you to miss each other. Even though you're a fan of the team, you might not have the same passion he has. And this is something he's always done with one of his buddies or two of his buddies. Accept it. I don't think this is a problem. He's not playing on you. He's not going out trying to meet other women. He's going to watch a ball game. This is something I can relate to because I've done it for years. I've never been in a situation where the girl or girlfriend I'm dating that tells me I can't hang out with my buddies to watch a ball game. But I have had friends that actually have had jealous girlfriends, and they will take pictures of us at the bar to send them to show that they're not messing around. And I think that's a big problem. You allow your boyfriend his time with his friends. Allow yourself your time with your friends. You don't control that space. And these friends of his are drunk losers. Well, that's a problem. Like, if you think that his friends are drunk losers, what does that say about him, and what does that say about his judgment? I've told him that too. His best friend he's known since high school, and the guy is just a loser, and he doesn't like me either. So I never get invited to friend events if he's there. So this is, I mean, you're only 1 year in. You haven't told me your guys' age range. I'm guessing early 20s, mid 20s. Bottom line, this is just not a good relationship. Okay. And you think that talking bad about his high school best friend is somehow going to help the issue, and makes it worse. He's probably not going to say, oh, I'll just stop hanging out with my high school buddy, one of my best friends, because you don't like him. It's very common for best friends to get jealous or to not get along. One of my girlfriends was, I'm sorry, I lost my place. So I never get invited to friend events if he's there. Going back to why we broke up, he went to this sports bar with his friend, and I actually showed up with one of my guy friends from work. That's a no-no. Who also likes watching basketball. My boyfriend was pissed, but I told him I can come watch the game too with my friends. This is immature. One of my girlfriends was supposed to come, but canceled at the last minute. So it kind of looked like a date, I guess. Well, I mean, regardless if this guy's just a friend from work, which it could be, okay? And you invited your female friend also, which made it look better. Go to a different place to watch the game. He's already told you he's going to go. He wants guy time. You show up at the same place. Bad move. My boyfriend just ignored me most of the time, and he didn't say hello to my friend from work. And this guy, I'm not interested in at all. Why do you even have to state that, right? He's a computer nerd, not a guy I've ever been attracted to. And I know it was good for him to get out too. So you're doing this guy a favor by taking him out. Give me a break. He doesn't like me like that. I'm not saying you're wrong or you're right. I'm not saying the guy's not a computer nerd and you're not attracted to him, but you used him as a pawn. You had the intention of getting your boyfriend's attention by going to the bar with this guy and putting it in his face. And that's, to me, a low move. It's not a move of someone I want to be with long term, personally. You know, like, oh, he doesn't like me. I don't like, but you were trying to create friction. You were trying to get noticed. You went to the specific bar he was at. I mean, this is grounds for him to break up with you if it's only 1 year in. I mean, the level of attempted manipulation, and then in a public place that's his sports bar that he likes to go to, and you're trying to embarrass him by being with another dude, even if he's a computer nerd, and then you're using the other guy. Not a fan of this situation. Not a fan. Then while I was there, his friend pulled me to the side in the restroom area, like where the hall to the restroom was. And he just told me that I was the most disrespectful girlfriend he ever met. I don't think you're the most disrespectful one in the world, because there's probably someone that's done it better than you have. It is disrespectful what you did. He ever met, and he called me something under his breath, but I couldn't make it out. Then when I asked my boyfriend to talk to me outside, he ignored me. Then I raised my voice, and that's when the female bartender, who I know likes my boyfriend, you know that. Newsflash, female bartenders at sports bars are flirtatious, friendly, kind, smile, make eye contact. It's part of the job. So the idea that you just know that she likes him, you might be reading into that a little bit too much. I've seen her flirt with him in my face. I said I had to leave. She said I had to leave or she'd call the police. She then looked at my boyfriend and said, sorry, we can't have this here. My boyfriend said, please call the police, get her out of here. Then he took a drink of his beer and looked at me in the eyes and said, I'm done with you. The bar was crowded and a bunch of people heard him. Then they all were cheering him, all guys mostly. His friend was patting him on the back. I felt so humiliated. Well, I'm going to tell you what, I'm not dancing on your humiliation, but you put yourself in that situation. You put him on the spot, and how it played out is unfortunate. Humiliation's never nice. But you put yourself in that situation. You lit the wick of that dynamite. Okay? Take some responsibility for that. I felt so humiliated. I think he was humiliated at some level. You bring another guy in there. You demand that he come outside to talk to you like a dog. That night, I waited for him at his house in my car. That when we got home, I said, we need to talk and you have to apologize to me. You have to apologize. See, here's the thing. You created this situation. I could tell he was drunk and he just told me he was done and even smiled when he said it, which I thought was super wrong. Then his sister, who he shares his house with, came out and yelled at me. She doesn't like me either. So you got his best friend and his sister, who's his roommate, don't like you. This is not a good situation. My question is this. Should I just go no contact as he broke up with me? But at the same time, I feel like he owes me an apology. Listen, I don't think you're going to get that apology by demanding it. I think down the road, if you have a good, passionate relationship and he wants some intimacy and he, like you said, has come back to you before, possibly, maybe then he apologizes just in lieu of getting what he wants. But this guy, I don't think he feels like he should apologize for this. You started this. You put yourself in this situation. I know he'll be back too. He's broken up with me before, but it was different. This one went too far. Have you ever heard of such disrespect? I mean, it is disrespectful, but you put yourself in the situation. You walked into the booby trap. Okay? You You show up, he's hanging out with his buddies watching a ball game. You show up with another guy from work who you said means nothing to you. And then you go out of your way to get his attention at the bar. Then you tell him he has to come talk to you outside in front of his friends. It's going to be tit for tat. And unfortunately, he was in his arena, literally. This is not a good relationship. And you're a complainer and you're a whiner. And you're not happy with him. It sounds like you just want to get him back to start all over again. Okay? This is not a healthy relationship. And personally, if I was coaching him, I'd tell him to be done with you also. I'm not sure if I even want him back at this point. So the idea that you even feel like you have an opportunity to get him back after what you did. The only way you guys are getting back together is if there's a high level of attraction. You said there was, and that might push him to be nice. But really, what he did, he's not sorry for it. But I'll tell you this, he will apologize to me. I will not be disrespected like that. If you're going to stick with this narrative, like he's going to do this, he has to do this, this isn't a good relation. This is not nice. This is going to get worse and worse and worse. Okay? Stop. Go into no contact, move on, move forward. Find someone that's best friend likes you, that sister likes you. Find a situation where a guy's a little bit more sensitive and compassionate about your depression issues. And don't set up situations where you're going to your boyfriend's favorite sports bar when he's hanging out with his buddy and you bring another guy to watch the game in his face. I don't like that. I wouldn't accept that. I give this guy points for doing what he did. All right, I got one more short scenario. It's not a full story, but someone had sent this in. If you want to book a live coaching session, please go to writemac.com, WRITEMAC.com. If you want to send in your full story and get it broken down in a live stream like this, go to writemac.com. All right, let's get into the next one. Coach Mac McCarthy, I just want to know, how can I move on from an ex? She's just haunting my mind. First answer to that, send your story in, book a session with myself. I can't seem to stop thinking about her. We broke up like 3 weeks ago, and every day feels like it's a knife in my back. Oh, my goodness. Knife in the back would mean she did you wrong. She never warned or told me why she wanted to break up. She just told me she doesn't have feelings for me like she should for a boyfriend. She isn't in love with me, and it's not fair. It's not really a reason. I'm going to stop you right there. Thanks for writing this. It is a reason. So if a woman says, I'm just not feeling the same, or I'm just not feeling in love, that is a feeling. That is a reason. Translation, I'm not in love with you. I'm not attracted to you anymore. Okay. That would be much harsher to say to someone, but that's what it is. It's not really a reason. I've seen you mention in videos that you have to know the problems to fix them. Absolutely. She hasn't given me any of the problems. Like, why did you fall out of love with me? Well, unfortunately, there's some individuals that don't want to say it, and they're doing it because they don't want to hurt your feelings, but they have been collecting reasons for a long time. And whatever the reasons are, they don't want to go to them. So they just generalize and say, I fell out of love with you. And they don't have to tell you. They don't have to tell you. Your answer is, I fell in love with you. I don't want to work on it. I don't want to tell you the problems because I don't want to work on the problems. I don't think they're fixable, and I don't really want to work on them. That's the thing. I want to ask her that now, but she isn't answering my calls or texts. And when I sent her that question, she just said she doesn't know why. It's just a feeling. Can you tell me why? I'll book a session next week, as I really like your approach to a breakup. You just seem more honest than the other YouTube coaches. You really know how to unpack stories. Where did you learn that skill? Okay, I'll talk about the skill thing in a minute. Can you tell me why? I can't tell you why. I'd have to talk to her first. I'd have to ask you more questions in a live coaching session. But most likely she lost attraction. She most likely lost attraction of you being needy, weak, not being at your best, or a few things. But she also could just be going in a different direction in her life. There could be a wide variety of reasons. When someone leaves you like that and they go, I'm just not in love with you anymore, you need to give them time and space to digest that and process that. Knocking on her door, sending her texts, calling her and asking her, tell me more, just makes you more needy and annoying. Leave her alone. She might tell you down the road, but she lost attraction for you. She's going to lose more attraction for you if you can't accept what she just told you. I'm just going to read a few comments that were in some of the other videos. Yes, currently on the third breakup with a girl over 5 years. This has been the longest, hardest time. She's showing signs of moving on. Anyways, I'm trying to move on myself. If you have your third breakup over 5 years, I've said this before, many people might think, well, that's not 2 years. Every breakup makes the relationship lose a little bit of trust. It's like 10%, 20%, 30%. And you got to rebuild that trust after the breakup. So if you have one big breakup, you might be able to rebuild it fully in a year or 6 months. It depends on what happened. When you continue to have them, someone starts to loosen up and go, this isn't going to work. And especially if you're having the breakup over the same problem. So I'd say if you had a third breakup in 5 years, move on, move forward, have some dignity, stop trying to move on and just be done. Goddess of love, the worst relationship for you to be in is the one you can't let go of. I would say, sure, but I would ask more questions. Why can't you let go of it? And I'd just like to give a shout out to Luis. Cisneros. Hi, Mac. Would you please make a show about single moms? I just did, just for you. All right, I'm going to get into the live stream really quick. I'm cheesed out. I hate dating. What am I going to do? Freeze my eggs? I don't even know what that means. I don't care when they're having boys' night. I just don't like flaking. I can make other plans if it's going to be like that. Yeah, well, flaking and making other plans. I think you need to be acceptable of your boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife's interactions with their friends, even if you don't like them. And a lot of people come to me, I hate their friend. Well, you're probably in competition. Their friend probably doesn't like you. It's not an ideal situation because a lot of people aren't going to go, oh, I'll just get rid of my friend because you're with me now. It's pretty weak, actually. She writes down, the guy sounds like a douche and she sounds like a control freak. I would add to that story that this individual is totally oblivious to the fact that she has a lot of problems with her boyfriend. And instead of figuring out like, he needs to stop doing this to me, you need to figure out, can you accept that he wants to go hang out with his buddy and watch a ball game alone and doesn't want you to show up with a guy friend from work at the same sports bar and you feel like you were humiliated? Sounds like victim 101, manipulation 101. No bueno. All right, we got 9 on deck, 1 like. Let me know if you have any situations where you've dated a single mom or what's your opinion on that. Or if you feel like it's okay. Like I said in the beginning of this, a lot of times there's so many stuff out there. Oh, I would never date a single mom, or there's so many problems. It's like anything else. There's good ones, there's bad ones. And I would start with this. If you're attracted to the woman, if you have a good connection, and what I always tell people, take a 1 to 10 on attraction. It should be between 8 to 10, 7 to 10. What's my connection and chemistry like? Between 7 and 10 at least. What's my trust? Long-term relationship, 9 or 10. Should be a 10. If those things line up and they have a kid, well, then that's a good catch. You just have to figure out if you're okay with taking this on. Odd Carlo, if a girl's trying to make me jealous by going out with another man, I just lose interest instantly. It's kind of immature. It's not kind of, it is immature, right? It also, what you have to realize too, there were only this story that was just unpacked. They're only together 1 year. So she's saying, this is one of the things I use in my playbook is jealousy. And then on top of it, oh, I don't even like this guy. This guy that I brought from, he's a computer nerd, which you're talking down about. And I just brought him out because he likes basketball too. No, you brought him out as a pawn. You brought him out for a reason. You brought him out because you wanted to get your boyfriend's attention, and you did. What you didn't anticipate was that your boyfriend was going to stand up to you in public and say, no, I'm not going outside. No, you're not going to check me at my favorite sports bar. And honestly, if I was there, I'd give the guy a fucking handshake. All right, folks. It's been good. It's been grand. It is curtains, please. If you'd like to get onto one of the live streams in the future, put the subscribe button and put in the notes if you've had a situation that you want me to touch on in a future live stream, a question or a topic. Take care.